Hello viewers, today we will talk on initial simplex Tableau and we have question on initial simplex Tableau. Convert the following problems into Tableau form and then set up the initial simplex Tableau. So we have been given maximize z 30x1 plus 48x2. This is the objective function, this is a constraint. Why this is what? Why this is what? This is non-negativity. And if you check on our previous lesson, I explained steps in formulation of what? Step in what? Step to take while solving linear programming problem by simplex method. One is what? To formulate you have to formulate the linear programming problem. If you see this question has been formulated, that is, it has been translated to mathematical form. Our next step is what? To convert it to standard form. In to standard form, it means we are going to change, we are going to add slack variables according to the what to the variable that are what in the objective function. If you look here, we have x1 here, we have x2 here, we have x3 here. It means our decision variable, our slack variable that I'm going to add to it is what? Slack variable 1, slack variable 2, and slack variable 3. And each constraint will take, the first will take the slack variable 1, the second will take the what? Slack variable 2, while the last constraint will take what? Slack variable 3. So I have to convert it to standard form by adding the slack variable and what? Turning the inequality to equality. So solution to this is maximize z, I can write maximize z 30x1 plus 48x2 plus 42x3. Then the slack variable ox1 plus ox2 plus what? Ox3. Then subject to first constraint 3x1 plus 6x2 plus 6x3. Then I will add slack variable to this one. First constraint, that is, I'm going to write the coefficient of what? Slack variable of what? This. I'm going to omit the coefficient of this. As x1 is equal to what? Inequality return to equality, 60. Then my second constraint 2x1 plus 0.5x2 plus x3 plus second slack variable 2 is equal to 10. Then the last constraint is what? 2x1 plus 2x2 plus x3 plus what? The constraint of the last variable, the last constraint, which is x3, is equal to what? Is equal to what? 20. Then our non-negativity of the constraint will now be x1, x2, x3 with the slack variable of the 3 we added to it, x1, x2, then x3. So it's greater than or equal to 0. So I have translated this to what? I have converted to what? Standard form. That is, I turned what? I have slack variable to it and I changed the inequality sign to equality. So my next step is what? To create initial Tableau for this. I'm going to set my initial Tableau for this. That is, setting my initial Tableau of this in a matrix form. That is, on a table. So how can I set my initial simplex table for this? So I'll form a table. So here will be my solution quantity. This place is going to be my what? Going to be my the coefficient of this constraint. The coefficient of this constraint. That is, what is the coefficient of what? 3 x1, coefficient of 6 s2, coefficient of what? 6a s3. I'm going to have x1, s2, and then s3. So with my slack variable of slack variable 1, slack variable 2, slack variable 3. So here will be my slack variable 1, slack variable 2, last one is slack variable 3. And the last part is going to be my solution quantity or resource. To be solution quantity. So this place is going to be my what? The slack variable that I added to the objective function. How many slack variables do I add to the objective function? Then here will be my Cj, and last one will be my Zj. That is, my Zj is equal to Zj minus Cj. So my x1, I'm going to add the constraint value, the coefficient of the constraint, that is the coefficient of x1, coefficient of x2, coefficient of x3. This one is 3, 6, 6. It will be in this form, that is, on my first constraint, the coefficient of x1 is 3. I'm going to put 3. On my second constraint, the coefficient of x2 is 6. I'm going to put 6. On my third constraint, the coefficient of x3 is 6. I'm going to put 6. If you look here, I added x1 to it. That the coefficient of x1 is what? 1. There's no s2 here. There's no s3 here. To be 0, 0. Then it's equal to what? 60. My solution quantity is 60. I'll go to my second constraint. What is the what? What is the first? What is the coefficient of x1? I have 2. I'm going to put 2. Coefficient of s2, I have what? I have what? 0.5. I'm going to add 0.5. Coefficient of s3, I have what? I have 1. Slash variable of what? I added slash variable 2 to this one. It means the coefficient of s2 is what? 1. There is no slash variable 1 here. There is no slash variable 3 here. That's why I put 0. So this one will be what? 10. So my last constraint, this is what? This is what? S3. I had what? The coefficient of s1 is 2. The coefficient of s2 is 2. While the coefficient of s3 is what? 1. I only have s3 here. So the coefficient of s3 is what? 1. There is no, I do not add s1 to this. I do not add s2 to this. So now be 0, 0. Is equal to what? 20. So my Cj is the coefficient of the slash variable of the objective function. So what is the objective function? That is slash variable that I added to the objective function. 0, 0, 0. It means this is 0, 0, and 0. So for me to get this, I'm not going to put 0. So my Cj is what? My Cj is what? The coefficient of x1, x2, x3. For me to get x1 here, I'm going to multiply 0 times 3. The coefficient of x1, which is 0 here, multiplied by 3 plus 0 times 2 plus 0 times 2. So if I multiply 0 times 3 is what? 0 plus 0 times 2 is what? 2. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. Plus 0 times 2 here is 0. It means if I add everything together, it will be 0. If I use this, the coefficient of x1 here to multiply this, I use the coefficient of x2 here to multiply this, I use the coefficient of x3 here to multiply this. Here will give me 0 as well. Because anything multiplied by 0 will give me 0. So it will be 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. And 0. So my Zj is what? My Zj minus Cj. Since I've gotten this one, if anything that I have in Zj, I will subtract it from 0. It means it will give me the value. So what is my Zj? My Zj is the what? Is the coefficient of the objective function. That is, I have 30. This is my 30. 30 minus 0, I'm going to get 30. On S2, I have 48. 48 minus 0, I'm going to get 48. On S3, I have 42. 42 minus 0, I'm going to get 42. Then this on X1, I have what? 0. On S2, I have 0. On S3, I have 0. Then solution quantity is what? 0. So this is my Zj and Cj. I've formulated what is only initial simplest table that they say that we are going to do. This is what is in form of matrix form. That is initial table. That is our starting table for simplest method. This is what they're trying us to form. But here we have to check for optimality by taking out the pivot. So for us to take out the pivot here is what we have to do one thing here. What are we going to do here? It means we are going to check for optimality. That is, we have to consider the objective function, the highest element in the objective function. So what is the highest element in the objective function is what? 48. So here will be my pivot column. So my pivot column element is going to be divided by this. That is 60 divided by 6, 10 divided by this, 20 divided by this. So element that give me the least value is will be my pivot element. So let's do it. Remember, I said the highest number on my objective function is what? The highest element is 48. So it means here is what our pivot column. Here is our pivot column. So it means if I want to get my pivot solution quantity, that is the element of here is what 60. Where is my pivot column? Here is my pivot column. First element is 6. The element that says 10. Where is my second? 10 divided by what? 0.5. So my last element is 20 divided by what? 2. 20 divided by 2. Then this one is 0. This one is 0. 0 divided by 0 is 0. So anything 0 divided by 0 is equal to what? 0. So 60 divided by 6 is what? I'm going to get 10. So 10 divided by 0.5. 10 divided by 0.5 is 20. 10 divided by 0.5 is 20. Then 20 divided by 2. 20 divided by 2 is also 10. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So then 0 divided by 0 is equal to 0. So this is 0. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore 0 because it's not what? It's not a value. So whenever I see 0 or negative, I'm going to ignore it. So the element that give me the least. So what is the element that give me the least value? The element that give me the least value, it will be my pivot. So what they divided by this that give me 10 is 2. What they divided by this that give me 10 is 6. So here is what I have 10 here. This element I have 10 here. It means 2 and 6 is my pivot. 2 and 6 is my pivot. So from here I can choose any of the number because any of the two because it's the one that give me what? Pivot. 6 is my pivot here. 2 is also my pivot here. So I'm going for 2. So where is our 2? So this is 2. I'm going to circle that is pivot. My pivot is 2. So this is how to form a initial simplex. This is how to form initial simplex table. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.